For information on the book and how to order your copy, go to BeDecentBook.com. Decent people with decent tech can save the planet. All we have to do is be decent again. BeDecentBook.com. Earth is our home. Let's take care of it.
Now you did it. Are you completely insane? He's back. He, who must not be named. The man, the myth. The only guy in Ocala to eat his own weight in fried pickles. Twice. Now, you asked for it. Sorta. Live and in person. It's Tom Schmitz.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks. We got just a few weeks left in the open enrollment period for the Florida Prepaid College Board. So families across the state are being urged to make sure that they look after their children's post-secondary opportunities. On the phone with us now is the Florida Prepaid College Board spokesperson, Shannon Colavecchio. Good morning, Shannon.
Good morning.
I had this conversation with somebody just the other day, and before we get into the meat of what's going on, I have to ask this question because it deals with the Florida prepaid plan. We had a group of us had a friend who unexpectedly at 38 years old, passed away very quickly after being diagnosed with cancer. Melanoma skin cancer happened actually last Friday. He passed away very unexpectedly, very quickly, and he leaves behind 2 children.
Wow.
We were wondering if we, as a group of guys, because we were all his buddies and all, we want to make sure his kids are taken care of. Can we set up a Florida college prepaid plan for his children, or is that something we have to get the mother of the children to do, or the grand? How would that work? Because we really want to make sure these children have the opportunity to go to secondary education after high school, but through the Florida prepaid plan. So can we set that up, or is it something a family member has to do?
So I believe that it can be set up as long as the beneficiary is a child with residency in Florida. Then that can be set up. Now, the other issue is that you could also, I think we've had before where families, a relative may set it up, but then multiple people can all contribute,
Right.
into that payment plan. So that is certainly an option. And for example, we have something called the 1-year university plan, and that one is actually set up so that multiple people can each contribute a year of university education toward the same child. In other words, you can stack 1 year on top of another to add up to 4 years. And that is actually one of our most affordable plans. So that would be something to look into for you as a group. And, it's we try to make this as easy as possible for people to do this as gifting, right? So whether it's a child's birthday or, in an unfortunate circumstance like this, to be able to contribute and gift toward a child. Is
the relative age of the child important in choosing the plan that you're choosing? Because one of these children is 7, the other one's 12.
So the answer to that is the earlier you save, the lower the payments would be if you do a monthly payment plan,
right.
Simply because you have more years to save. What we encourage families to do is to go to the website, myfloridaprepaid.com, and there's actually a pricing calculator on that website. And what it allows you to do is to enter the age of the child, and then it will tell you, based on the child's age, what each of our 5 prepaid plans and our dormitory plan would cost per month. And so we typically encourage families or, friends and relatives, look at what those payment plans would be and choose the one that you're able to do financially. Because even if you can't pay for all of a child's education, every bit that you are saving for is the amount that they don't have to borrow, right? And the point is to try to help a lot of these students, graduate without all of these student loans. And so we encourage families to do what you can now, right, with the budget that you have, because you could always, pay it off early, or, add on a different part of the plan, or, what do you say, upgrade
Yeah.
what you're saving for. But it's important to at least start saving something, because it really is true that something is better than nothing.
Well, let me ask you this. I know that the elephant in the room is the pandemic. I know that it's probably changed. Pandemic's changed every aspect of life, every aspect of business. How has the pandemic impacted plan sales and people's attitudes towards saving for college and everything when they're up against it because they can't, maybe their jobs are not where they should be or anything? And are you sensing optimism through their plan purchases?
So I think there's a couple sides of the spectrum. We are definitely seeing that families, it's interesting you asked this because we actually did a survey of families after the pandemic. We did this around November and then again in January. And the question was, in light of the pandemic, how do you feel, how important is college? And 98% of the families that we surveyed across Florida said that college is just as important, if not more important, in light of the pandemic. And I think part of that stems from, the fact is that there are many Floridians who probably were in jobs or industries in which they had to take that job because maybe they didn't have a post-secondary degree and they didn't have options, right? And losing your job, maybe you're in hospitality or something, right? And so the pandemic kind of brought home the fact that, the more post-secondary education you have, it really can open up different doors for you. And then I think the other thing is that our prepaid plans, because they are so guaranteed, right? It is a certainty. Your monthly payment is certain. The guarantee of covering tuition is certain. So we are finding that families are kind of gravitating toward that because it is something that they can lock into, that they can have confidence in, at a time when we wake up every morning and it's like, what is going to be the news today, right? We really don't know.
No, we don't.
And yet a prepaid plan, that's right. And yet a prepaid plan, there is comfort in knowing that they are guaranteed. You can never lose the money that you put in. We promise you that your child's tuition will be covered. And I think all of those things are certainly comforting. And so last year we actually saw very high plan sales, and we are on track this year so far as well to see strong sales. So it's very encouraging.
We're speaking with Shannon Colavecchio. She is the spokesperson for the Florida Prepaid College Board. Let me ask you, I went to school at 22. If I'd have went to school at 18, I'd have flunked out. I'd have got in the party crowd. I'd have drank too much Bud Light, and I'd have flunked out. That's just me. It's honest. I would have failed. So I went at 22. Is there a time limit? Like, does it kick in at 18, and by 23, which is a 5-year period, like eligibility in college sports, I lose that money? Or can I wait and become a non-traditional student and still take advantage of the plan that my parents made for me?
Yes, you have up to 10 years from the time that you graduate high school to use your prepaid plan. So this is great because it means, maybe you're partying, like you have said, but maybe you're in the military, or maybe, I think, for example, this year, we're going to start to see more students decide to take that gap year, maybe between high school and college, because they don't want to go to college in front of a computer screen. They want to go to college on campus, the way it was before COVID, right? Like they want that true college experience. So we do give students 10 years to use their plan. So they're very flexible in that regard.
Now, I went to Georgia Southern. I'm a Florida resident.
Okay.
I went to Georgia Southern, though. Yep. Can I use my Florida prepaid plan if I go to an out-of-state school?
You can. And this is probably one of the biggest misconceptions that we try to correct. So when you purchase a prepaid plan, the value of your plan, right, and the tuition that we guarantee is based on the tuition of the Florida college or university, depending on which kind of plan that you bought, right? But you can apply the value of your plan to an institution outside of Florida, a private institution inside or outside of Florida. So I'll use your scenario as an example. If your parents had bought you a 4-year university plan, and you ended up going to Georgia Southern instead of, I'll say, University of Florida, okay? We would send to Georgia Southern what we would have sent to the University of Florida. Now, if you are being charged out-of-state tuition at Georgia Southern, it is true that your prepaid plan may not go as far as it would here, right? It may not cover everything. But the point is that you've never lost the value of your prepaid plan. That is still fully intact, and you get the guarantee that we gave you, even though you're applying it outside of Florida.
So that's great news. We got about 10 seconds. Where can people go find more information again?
Sure, myfloridaprepaid.com. It takes about 15 minutes to sign up online, and open enrollment ends April 30th.
Thanks so much, Shannon. Colavecchio with Florida Prepaid. Thanks, Shannon.
Thank you.
WOCA, The Source.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
The House on Wednesday voted largely on party lines to advance a bill that limits the president's authority to issue travel bans on foreign nationals from entering the United States. House Democrats introduced the bill known as the National Origin-Based Anti-Discrimination for Non-Immigrants Act. In 2016, the Obama administration attached a transgender mandate to the Affordable Care Act. Framed as a non-discriminatory provision, it would require doctors and hospitals to perform sex change surgeries and provide insurance coverage for this practice. In January, a judge in North Dakota sided with Catholic hospitals in striking down the transgender mandate. However, on Tuesday, the Biden administration appealed the ruling. Dr. Mike Chupp with the Christian Medical and Dental Association tells Fox News they're pushing back on Biden.
As physicians of faith, we represent approximately 20,000. We're Hippocratic physicians, first and foremost, for hundreds of years in the United States. We take an oath to do no harm.
USA Radio News.
If there's a sudden disaster and you can't get to the grocery store, or they're all out of food, what would you do? You'll wish you had emergency food to get you through the crisis. And that's why we're here. We're MyPatriotSupply.com, America's leading source of emergency food. Our food lasts for up to 25 years, and millions of families trust us for their disaster survival. Won't you join us? Unlike other food companies, we don't skimp on calories. Our meals give you more than 2,000 calories per day. Why? Because that's what you need to survive any challenging crisis. And right now, you can save $200 on our popular 3-month emergency food kit. Just go to